Weird sciencey facts that boggle my mind. Sorry if this one gets a little handsy. I promise it won't be more than some light fingering, just the tips. Because I want to talk about something that we all have but is uniquely you, your fingerprints. We're all familiar with the pesky prints that won't let you get away with murder or unlock your phone half the time. But have you ever wondered why you have them? If you're like me, the answer is no. But as it turns out, the unmatched markings on your manus are more mysterious than you may have mused. Why we have fingerprints has baffled scientists for years. The prevailing theory for a long time was that the little ridges, like tread on a tire, your fingerprints provide grip for grabbing and prevent your phone from falling through your phalanges. But then they tested that theory, and it turns out smooth skin put more surface area on an object and therefore more grip, more friction than a surface with ridges. So still trying to get a grip on why our fingers may have prints, they came up with a new theory. That's that maybe our fingerprints improve our sense of touch. Our fingers have 4 different types of sensory sensors in them, which is what makes them so sensitive. And one of those sensors is specifically designed to pick up vibrations that are 200 hertz. So to probe further into this theory, they did another fingering experiment. They made a couple fake fingers and filled them with sensors that were designed to pick up that specific 200 hertz vibration. And one of those fingers was smooth and one had a simulated fingerprint on it. Turns out the ridges in our fingerprints vibrate at exactly 200 hertz, which makes it way easier for those sensors to pick up those vibrations. So case closed, right? Not so fast, because it turns out the grippy guys weren't quite ready to give up on their theory either. They're like, what if we didn't think about this hard enough? It may not improve grip when it's dry, but what about when it's wet? We all know that it can get slippery when you finger something wet, so maybe like the tread on a tire, your fingerprints redirect that wetness away. They really like their tire analogies. And since your hands have more sweat glands than any other part of your body, that's a theory that could hold water. And after another experiment I really didn't understand that involved lasers and glasses of water, it turns out that your hands need the perfect amount of moisture for the maximum amount of grip. And your sweat glands and fingerprints play a role in maintaining that balance. And as it turns out, our fingertip sensitivity and their grip actually go hand in hand. Because when you're hanging on to something, you need to be able to pick up the tiniest amount of slip so you know when you need to adjust your grip. There's also another theory that our fingerprints help add rigidity and structure to your fingertips to reduce blisters. I couldn't find if that had been tested yet or not, but I don't think it has. But besides just giving us an input on processing pressure so we can grab onto things, our fingerprints' abilities to enhance our tactile sensitivity have given us some huge evolutionary advantages. When we were hunter-gatherers, they could help us pick up soft or fuzzy spots on food to detect rot. They can help us feel our way through unfamiliar territory in the dark. They can help us detect weak spots and things we're trying to access. And they really help give us the ability to do fine motor tasks. We do all kinds of things in our daily lives that require all kinds of precision and fine-tuning that might not be possible without fingerprints. Building and using tools and writing and operating machinery. We're able to do all of those things because of the feedback our fingerprints provide us. So as much as we credit our brains for helping us evolve into the advanced species we are today, our fingerprints maybe do a good share of that credit as well. Because it turns out just as unique as fingerprints are to us as people, they're almost as unique to us as a species. In fact, the only other animals on the planet that have something that resemble our fingerprints are our closest relatives, the primates, and koalas, for some reason, which are not closely related to us at all. And another fun fact about fingerprints I didn't know how to cleverly shoehorn into this video: fingerprints were being used for their uniqueness as far back as 4,000 years ago. Both in ancient Babylon and ancient China, people used fingerprints to seal contracts, kind of like a signature, because it helped prevent forgery. The modern use of fingerprints and forensics has only been around for a little over a century, being first used as key evidence in a criminal trial in 1910. So it's crazy to me that we know how unique our fingerprints have been since early civilization, and it still took them 4,000 years to be like, hey, maybe we should use these to solve murder cases and stuff. We are slow learners sometimes. But either way, our fingerprints have given us quite the helping hand, and the fact that our fantastic fingers facilitate fine feeling and finesse for us to fervently forge forward into the future, got that one on the first try, well, that is pretty mind-boggling.